The Chiefs prepare for something big as they free up a lot of cap space, and we're going to talk about it. Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. Welcome in on this beautiful Wednesday morning, March the 12th. Mike, there's been a little bit of news in Chiefs Kingdom this morning already. Brett Veach is doing work at all hours of the day. What we got going on, brother?
Yeah, man. Phil Yates reported just a few minutes ago the Chiefs have restructured the contracts of Mahomes and Chris Jones, creating almost $50 million of cap space in 2025. The space plus more was needed for Kansas City to sign their early free agents, including Jalen Moore and Christian Fulton. Just yesterday, Steve, we're going to talk about all those free agent signings, and maybe we'll get a grade on them. But Chris Jones converts some stuff over. Patrick Mahomes always does this. It's like the yearly thing. If these two guys don't do this, especially Mahomes, year in and year out, day one of the new league year, which is today, by the way, This was the earliest that they could do it because you can only do it once per year. I know a lot of people don't understand that concept. Yesterday, everybody was asking me, you can only do it once per year. So Mahomes could not restructure nothing yesterday or the day before. Neither could Chris Jones. They had to do it today. So they did it. Brett Veach was all over it. Steve, it sounds like they've got something big coming up, but I'm assuming a lot of this may go to Trey Smith.
Yeah, like you said, they needed to free up some space just to be able to sign Christian Fulton, Jalen Moore, all those guys. But they also have the Trey Smith contract lingering. You don't want to pay him $26, $27 million on the cap. That's for sure. But at the same time, you're still going to be paying him out the ass. The guard market's gone through the roof. If you saw the Vikings yesterday, they signed Will Fries to a 5-year, $88 million deal. Will Fries, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about Trey Smith for a minute.
Getting less than that, right?
Absolutely not. He's going to be more than that. And that's the thing about it, Mike. That brings up a couple of questions. After they've restructured here, is that going to free up enough space to have Trey Smith re-sign whatever his cap hit may be, which might not be much the first year?
No, the first year might not be too bad.
But then you have to obviously pay these other guys that we were talking about. How much money does that leave? And does that leave room for them to make another big move here in free agency? And also keep in mind they have to have some cap space to sign the draft picks that they get and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know exact numbers, but I think they could be cooking something up.
I think updated, if this is completely updated, they've got right now, they were minus cap space, and right now, after all the contracts, they are at $29.5 million positive cap space. So I think they've got a little bit over $29 million right now.
Right. So you're looking at paying Trey Smith a chunk. Probably won't be bad the first year, though. Depends on how that contract rolls out. But it brings up another question, though, Mike. Is Trey Smith worth a $100 million contract? And I'm not saying it's not Trey Smith, per se, the person, or how good he is, but is the position of right guard worth a $100 million contract?
I don't think I don't think left guards are worth what the market is dictating right now. I do not. We've seen it a little bit with Jawaan Taylor a couple years ago. I believe the right tackle market was a little high there. Jawaan Taylor set the market, and I'm not saying Jawaan Taylor's bad. Jawaan Taylor's very much serviceable. He's on the upper end of good, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
If you minus out all of the penalties, which, let's be completely honest here, a lot of his penalties were brought on by a bunch of slap nuts in the booth that had nothing to do on week one a few weeks ago or a few years ago, and now that's carried over many years. So he's almost just been an unfair target on a lot of this stuff. But honestly, his play got better in year two over year one. And in year one, the Chiefs went out and signed this guy because he was young, he was athletic, he did the things they wanted him to do. He was not a problem off the field. He was a decent family guy. There were several things they liked about him. He was serviceable in the run game. He was pretty good in the pass game. They even talked about maybe moving him to the left side. I think that was a little crazy. But no matter what, they set the market almost at the 80 mil. And then a lot of people now, I know Chiefs Kingdom isn't infatuated with this guy. But I honestly don't know if the Chiefs are as down on Jawaan Taylor as Chiefs Kingdom is. I don't think that if he improves his play for the third straight year going into next season at 28 years old, they're just going to cut ties and run on this kid. I'm not 100% sure they'll do that. I know that's what a lot of people expect and what they want, but I just don't know if the Chiefs are ever in the same boat as the fan base is. They wasn't with Sky Moore. They wasn't with Kadarius Toney. There's a lot of things that they've separated on.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fans, we tend to overreact. We tend to get emotional about things or whatever. But, I mean, if you start really looking at right tackle contracts, Mike, Jawaan Taylor's is the third highest in the league, but it's tied with Lane Johnson of the Eagles. So, I mean, you're also looking at, let's see, two above him, which are Penei Sewell, Tristan Wirfs. It's not crazy. It's really not to think that market's going to continue to go up through the roof. And is that in all tackles? Let me see.
Do you know what's wild? Mahomes, after the restructure, I'm pretty sure this is real. This is up to date. Overthecap.com. You can see it if you just go to overthecap.com. Patrick Mahomes' cap number this year is now $28 million. Do you know who number 2 is? $27.4 million, basically. Jawaan Taylor. Second highest guy on the team. When I talked about yesterday on X that we need to restructure Jawaan Taylor, I was 1,000% right. I know that every talking head in the world retweeted that and tried to act like they were getting one over on us.
They think
like we didn't know
been talking
football.
We've been talking about the cap, or I'm sorry, his cap hit in the last year of his contract. You could avoid that. You could cut him after 3 years. You had an out. You could save $20 million.
Yeah.
We've talked about that since the beginning of the contract. But here's the thing about it. If they want to keep a solid right tackle, which Jawaan Taylor is, whether you like him or not, or you get too emotional about a penalty here or there, whatever it might be, the fact of the matter is you want to solidify the offensive line. The Chiefs have already made it clear that they're going to do that after the debacle in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, you could restructure Jawaan Taylor, bring all that down a little bit to where he's not getting paid such a massive amount each year. And if he stays around that $80 million mark, like as a whole, or about $20 million a year, I should say, something in that range, he's still just going to be a top 5 right tackle. And that's after some of these guys sign in the next year or two. He's going to drop because that market's going to continue to rise. Salary cap's gone up, and the premium on offensive guard apparently has gone through the roof. So why wouldn't tackle?
Well, here's what people don't understand. The word restructure has several different layers to it. There's partial restructures. There's exactly what Mahomes and Chris Jones did today is considered a restructure.
Right.
That is exactly what I was talking about with Jawaan Taylor. Everybody's acting like I was saying let's sign him for 5 extra years and extend it.
No, but if you do restructure it out and you do get him for a couple more years or whatever it might be, you're going to lower the cap space. And
well, that's
good.
possible. The Chiefs may do that. They may not give up on him like the fan base. I don't know. They could add an extra year or two. You could still make it to where you could have an out next year or the year after, even if you add an extra year or two. That's not a big deal. But the point is, Jawaan Taylor already freed up some money last year. He did this exact same thing that Chris Jones and them did. He turned some of his cap. He turned some of his base salary into signing bonus. I think he freed up like $6 million last year for the Chiefs, somewhere around that. It didn't mess with the $20 million out. It didn't add years to his thing. It put a void year on. It might have actually put 2 void years on. So the thing is the Chiefs and Brett Veach did mess with void years. They could still turn some stuff. Look, if he's not getting cut this year at any point, he has to stick around till next year. We've already established this. So whatever he's getting paid this year, you could literally take his base salary and convert it to caps or to signing bonus, and you still paid him what he's owed this year. You just don't push it to get to the cap. It goes a little bit further down the road to the cap. So point is, restructures do not mean necessarily that you got to add on a bunch of money in a bunch of years and you have to get out and you blow up everything. Like these cap things are wizards, and everybody sees this in black and white. And it's just not. It's not in black and white as easy as you think it is. So everybody thought they was getting one over on us yesterday. Surprise, surprise, this has already been done, and nothing happened that you said was going to happen.
Surprise, surprise, you're still a dork. Shane with the 5 bomb says, as a lifetime fan since childhood, I do overreact. But Taylor has got to go. Nah, he's good, but we pay him way too much money. So that's the thing. That's the whole point of restructuring or even extending them out is you can lower all that. And then as far the market's going to keep going up because he's in his third year of his contract now. So this contract was signed 3 years ago, basically. Well, 2 years ago exactly. So I mean that market's going to continue to rise. Like I said, Trey Smith's going to be looking at $100 million over 5 years, probably something in that range. So $20 million a year. That's what Taylor's getting paid. And he's a right tackle, right guard. That market's going to continue to rise. So if they can somehow keep him in that ballpark of $20 million a year, that might not look so bad next year or the year after that when some of these other cats start to re-sign and things like that. So I think he's a good right tackle. I think he's one of the top right tackles in the league. Yeah, he can get a little bit annoying with drive-killing penalties. But, I mean, that kind of stuff happens to everybody to an extent. It's just you clean it up. You got to clean it up. And also, like you said, Mike, they've been kind of picking on the guy. It was kind of a focal point for the league to pick on Jawaan Taylor at the beginning of last year when Collinsworth couldn't shut his mouth on live TV because he didn't understand that you're allowed to reset your back foot before the snap. So that's on them, man. I mean, it is what it is. I think they could come out, work something out with Jawaan Taylor.
You know what's wild? On overthecap.com, you can actually simulate now. You can go in there and simulate contracts and this and that and everything else. There's actually, like, this is the point I was trying to make. There's actually a feature where you could restructure a contract, and then there's actually a feature where you could extend or renegotiate a contract. So the point of a restructure is not always to extend or renegotiate. Those are two separate things.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know why I don't know why everybody and their grandma yesterday, and it's still going on right now on X, because, you know, you had people like Carrington Harrison and all these people that think that they're wizards of football.
Orcs.
They think they was going to get one over on us and be like, why would you ever extend why would you ever extend Jawaan Taylor? We got to get rid of him. Okay, cool. You can get rid of him. But converting money to bonus to save cap does not do anything to extend years onto a deal.
Structure. Yeah,
Like, you would think
whatever.
you would
There's
understand
a lot of different
that.
options there. There's a lot of different options there.
There's so many different options. I don't know why everybody's so clear cut on, like, if you take money off of his thing and free up a little bit of cap space, he's automatically here to the end of time. That's not the way contracts work.
Right. Yeah. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. They did free up a lot of space here, so it's going to be interesting to see what Brett Veach decides to do with it. Appreciate you guys being here this morning. Thanks for rolling in. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button. Let's get this out to more people. Let's talk about some Chiefs football. Mike, we got Larry John's been a member 4 months now. Says restructure Taylor, make a lot of signing bonus. They keep it. He's a good top 5 tackle. That's kind of the point, Larry. I don't think they're okay. Everyone's convinced. 100% convinced.
Everyone is
and
convinced.
I want to move on. I want to move on from Jawaan Taylor because I don't want to talk about the right tackle position too much because it doesn't matter really right now. But everyone's just convinced that they're going to let Jawaan Taylor play through this year and cut him and save the $20 million because there was a 3-year out on his contract. And that's a possibility. It's a big possibility. But if they would like to keep a top 5 right tackle and keep him around that $20 million per, then they could extend if they wanted to. Or, like Mike said, they could just restructure and free up a little bit more cap space and still cut them at the end of the season. So, I mean, there's just a lot of options there. But yeah, Mike, what do you think Brett Veach has got up his sleeve here? If he's freeing up cap space, not just for Trey Smith and just for Christian Fulton, Jalen Moore, and all those guys, what do you think he's freeing up money for? If you're looking at top free agents right now, you still got Stephon Diggs out there, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. You got Von Miller, Brandon Cooks. Deontay Johnson is a no-go. Obviously, we don't need Cam Robinson's ridiculous left tackle play for a high dollar. We don't need that no more. What do we got? What do you think they're going to do? There's some weapons out there, but there's a lot of older guys out there that are kind of hitting that point in their career to where people don't want to pay them as much as they might think they're worth, you know?
Right. Another thing is we just seen D-Hop sign with the Ravens yesterday for like $6
million, bro.
The Chiefs didn't even offer that, obviously. So
that's wild.
Either they're just not in the market for anybody, or they've like decided that. Look, this is another thing too. Number one, I think
pretty
D-Hop will do better with Baltimore than he did with us.
Of course.
We do not feature any specific wide receiver, especially a big X kind of guy like D-Hop. We won't do it. We won't throw it. We won't feature him. He barely got any targets. He barely got any playing time, to be honest. So why would he want to stay here? I'm surprised that he would even want to come back and renegotiate.
$6 million, though. I mean, that's chump change.
So look, he's going to go do that. So the Chiefs either prove that they don't want another wide receiver, or he was too old, or he just didn't fit the scheme the way they wanted him to. No matter what it is, he's not here. But I feel like maybe they're looking to the draft for another wide receiver, another younger kid, or they've got something else up their sleeve, which could be maybe they paid Hollywood and maybe they want to throw some money at. And I don't know why they would, because to me, they're still too old. But you've got Stephon Diggs, you've got Amari Cooper sitting out there at the wide receiver position. Brandon Cooks, he'll be almost 32 when the season starts.
Yeah.
All these guys are just a little too old. They don't really fit the Brett Veach thing. Somebody yesterday was like, hey, what about Evan Ingram? Well, he's 31 years old. I know he's a tight end. He's not even a wide receiver. But the point is there's still nothing but like 30-plus-year-old options on the free agency market this year. I don't know what happened, but everything turned out to be kind of older. The only young wide receiver out there that I think interests Brett Veach at all could be an Elijah Moore or Rondell Moore.
Well,
if you remember Rondell Moore coming out of Purdue.
Yeah, they played for the Cardinals.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's not many options out there.
There have been a little bit of rumblings about a one-year deal with Tyler Lockett. And he would be about in the $7 million range, which after D-Hop signed for $6 million, I think he might be able to get it for a little cheaper.
Tyler Lockett will be almost 33 when the season starts.
1 year deal is what I said. 1 year deal.
I don't give a rat's ass if it's a 1 year or a 10-year deal. At 33 years old, how real effective could he possibly be? We seen D-Hop. Like, he looked fine, but he still wasn't explosive enough to give Mahomes what he wanted. So,
well, let's be honest, man. They don't have
I know they're two different wide receivers, but the thing is like at 33 years old, he could deteriorate quick. You never know when it could be a switch.
Right. They don't have to go that route. They don't have to go receiver route. I mean, you could easily go. You've got to fill the room up, but you could easily go into this season with Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice being your three guys out there, and that's fine. That's okay. But if you want somebody that has some experience, then you go out, you grab a guy on a 1 year deal, a 2 year deal, something like that. I mean, obviously, Stephon Diggs is still out there. Personally, I don't like that one at all. Would he fit in the Chiefs' offense? Maybe. Maybe in Andy Reid's offense, he would be okay. But the fact of the matter is, we know that these guys don't get a lot of targets. Patrick Mahomes is going to spread the ball around. Andy Reid's offense doesn't allow to feature one wide receiver. It just doesn't do it. Stephon Diggs, I don't think can handle that mentally. I think he'd be throwing a hissy fit on the sidelines when he got 2 targets a game or no targets in a game. I don't think he could handle that. He's got that fragile ego. So I don't know if that's the route to go there. Mike, what if they just made a trade and brought Tyreek Hill back into the kingdom? You think they just freeing up money to bring him home?
I mean, honestly, he's a better option than what's on the free agent market.
Yeah, maybe they should why have they not thrown out a trade for Cooper Kupp? I mean, come on, just take a 7th rounder or whatever the heck. We got two.
Steve, Chiefs Kingdom's been brainwashed over the past few weeks that Kareem Hunt is now way too old. He doesn't
Cooper
deserve
Kupp's
to be
bad.
back.
He's blah.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp is now just on the downside of his career. He's horrible. Even a 1 year deal's bad.
That's wild. That's crazy thinking.
I don't understand that one, in my opinion. I think Cooper Kupp fits our offense pretty well.
To think that Cooper Kupp, if he stays healthy, to think that he couldn't elevate this offense and be an absolute blank,
I guess that's a big
security blanket for Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, and that is a big if. The last 3 years he's been hurt a lot. But you also have to think in the last 3 years his production's gone down, A, injuries, but B, also they brought in Puka Nacua. They've been kind of featuring him in the offense, so that took some heat off of Cooper Kupp, and they haven't been using him as much. So, I mean, there's still some gas left in the tank there. If he can stay healthy, you get him on a cheap 1 year deal or something like that, and, I mean, you're looking good there. But also, I mean, you got to trade for him. But they're going to cut him.
He's also 31 as well. So
yeah, exactly. But you're not trying to sign these guys for 5 years, Mike. These are not you need some experience to sprinkle into that young wide receiver room. You don't need somebody long term. Like, that's what I'm trying to say here. You go get a guy with a little bit of experience on a 1 year or 2 year deal. You got all these young guys that are beast. I think it's a smart move. And yeah, if he gets hurt again and he misses the whole season, big deal. Like, you didn't break the bank on him. You gave up a 7th round pick for him. You know what I'm saying?
He ended up coming back last year in week 8 and played all the way to the end of the year with no injuries. He just missed week 3 through 7. I want to say 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. But either way, he misses 4 games on a team with Puka Nacua taking literally all the bulk of number ones.
Yeah.
The guy has 2 drops on the season. That's it. Okay. He also puts up. Let me just find his numbers last year. I want to get these completely right, so everybody
and they're
not
down.
freak
You
out.
have to remember they're down for
800
reasons.
receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. That would have been our leading wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you think that Cooper Kupp would not be a smart move for what he's going to cost, I mean, at this point, Mike, it looks like they would give him up for crumbs because they're ready to cut him. So if you want to get him and not let him go to the open market, you could do that. You could trade for him. You could come up with a good deal for him that doesn't cost you a bunch of money, doesn't break the bank, and also isn't a huge risk if he does get hurt. It's like whatever. But shout out Jacob here with the 2 bomb. He knew what he was going to talk about. He already knew Cooper Kupp was on the list here. Appreciate you, Jacob. But yeah, I think that you have to be. It's one of 2 things. If you're saying no to Cooper Kupp, like absolutely no. I can understand if you're like, don't really care for that, whatever. I just don't understand how you'd be an absolute no on something that cheap with a player at that caliber.
If you could snag Cooper Kupp for a 6th or 7th round pick,
you have to be
even
trying
for
to be
season, I think
too cool
it's
for
fine.
school. I think that's what it is. Like if you're in that boat, then you're just trying to. No, man, this Cooper Kupp sucks. Let's get somebody else. Let's go get somebody that makes no sense. You know.
So some kid told me yesterday they'd rather have DeMarcus Robinson.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you really think that DeMarcus Robinson would help this team more than Cooper Kupp, then just give up on life. Seriously, you're an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. Larry Johns with the 5 bomb. Do you think they restructured everybody to sign McDuffie? That's another possibility. That's another one we were going to talk about. They've got to extend McDuffie now. It would be the smartest thing to do. That market's also going through the roof. You saw what happened with J.C. Horn. So if you want to keep McDuffie, I think that's definitely something that's on the to-do list, Larry Johns. And, I mean, there are some people out there that are still – Mike, we've always said they won't pay corners. We've said it over and over again. We told people way before they wanted to hear it that L'Jarius Sneed was a goner. Hell, they cried about it. They called us dumb. We didn't know anything about football like they always do. We were dumb. And he's gone, of course. But we think McDuffie could buck that trend. They traded up in the 1st round for him, so they've already invested in him. So he's also been a top corner in football. So I think he would be a good one to buck that trend. But there's still people out there that think they won't, like Lance from The Spoken. He thinks they won't pay McDuffie. He don't think they're going to pay him that much. He's like, they haven't done it before, and why would they do it with
I don't know where he
undersized
sits.
guy?
Where does he sit on that issue? Because he always like, you know where I sit. Does he not want McDuffie back? Or does he
likes McDuffie, but he don't think they will re-sign him because they don't pay corners, and he don't think they're going to pay an undersized corner. That's just what he thinks, and that's a valid point. We know that they don't like to pay corners.
Well, let's all get on there and attack the guy for having a different opinion.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they did.
Mike, if someone from 610 Sports doesn't say it, then it's not real. Okay? But yeah. No, I don't know, man. I think they could buck the trend with McDuffie. I think you extend him. He's too damn good. And you got this other cat on the 2-year deal. I don't know. I think you keep plugging people in there to play with McDuffie, and you're solid there. So I think they could do that. I think the extension for him could be coming sooner than later. If they wait too long, they're going to be paying him even more. So that's all there is to that. We got a 5 bomb from Flip. It says extending Jawaan Taylor contract and signing Trey Smith to a long-term contract will give us more cap space. Thoughts? That was our point. If you're paying Trey Smith, you might as well go ahead and either extend Taylor to keep him in this ballpark before the market continues to rise at tackle, because he is good. Wah, he gets a penalty here and there, whatever. He's a good tackle. I think you solidify your offensive line. The only thing you're worried about is this left tackle, and that's going to be a thing. We've been in the position, Mike, where there's no easy fix for that. So it's going to be a thing. Maybe Jalen Moore starts. Maybe he's a starter. And he comes in and does well. And then all of a sudden we have this young guy that is our piece there, right? Maybe he don't. Maybe he don't even start there. Maybe they have something else in mind. Who knows? But either way, we know there's not an easy plug and play at the left tackle. There's no easy fix. There just wasn't any way to do it. The only way they could have done it was to be in on a trade for Laremy Tunsil, and obviously they didn't think that was the route to go. Or the Texans didn't want to deal him to the Chiefs. So I think
the
this is
Laremy
smart.
Tunsil thing is just it was possible that could have happened, but for all we know, nobody's really. You think the Texans wanted to load up the Chiefs too? I'm not saying they wouldn't have dealt with us, but I don't think it would have been in the same ballpark. And also, Laremy Tunsil's what? He's pushing 30, or he is 30. So he's already right there at that threshold where his play could fall just a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, you can probably get another good 4 or 5 years out there.
Yeah, probably. That's why the Commanders did it. I'm just saying, I don't know if the Texans would have helped the Chiefs that much.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they really wanted to do that. So, I mean, either way, if you get Jawaan Taylor worked out or whatever, you get the cap space down. You have your line, all except for that left tackle position, taken care of for a while. I mean, left guard's still probably a thing.
Who said that? Flip? Also, to Flip's point, right here. To Flip's point, extending Jawaan Taylor. I know a lot of people don't like that move. They're so easy to be like, well, when Jawaan Taylor leaves, we'll just draft the right tackle. We'll slide Kingsley over. We can slide Wanye. Okay, but we've seen Kingsley and Wanye play a little bit, and they're not the most consistent guys. And granted, they probably fit better on the right side. But everybody did what they're doing with Jawaan Taylor to Orlando Brown Jr. on the left side, and look how that's panned out for the last 5 years or 4 years or however long it's been without him.
They don't learn,
The
Michael.
grass is not always greener, and it's not easy to plug and play as easy as you think it is. Yeah. So, you could lose Jawaan Taylor, and then you could try whatever you want at right tackle, but it may not come to fruition. At least Taylor gives you I'm not going to say a great right tackle. I'm going to say an above average to good. I'm going to say I don't know if he's top 5. I'd say he's top
5
10.
right tackle? I bet you he is. I bet if you look at it, he might be.
He has stretches where he can play to that elevation, but he's also got stretches
He does
where
have to work on
up.
consistency, that's for sure. Real quick, just want to get to this. Mark Prohl, Jonathan Allen signed with the Vikings, bro.
Yeah, he's not available, bro.
So he's not available.
He signed a monster deal too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Let's see here. I think we have a freaking 100 bomb. What's Flapjack doing out here, baby? Let's go. Oh, that's loud, baby. That's what you get for 100.
I don't know what's happening today.
Let's go, baby. The hundo from Flapjack. Am I wrong for wishing Travis's old ass would have retired so we could keep Justin Reed? Travis is a liability. Can't no one change my mind. Keeping this D-hole is better. And then D-hole. Then this unknown offense.
Flapjack put $100 out just to write D-hole.
Then this unknown offense that hasn't proven shit. Old ass Travis must go. So that's not going to be a popular opinion, Flapjack, and you know that.
Yeah, that's why he's
throwing it out there.
there.
He's throwing it out there with authority with the 100 bomb. Well, here's the thing. You're not wrong, Flapjack. I think Travis is. I wouldn't consider him a liability, but I think it is time to pull back a little bit on how much they have to use Travis and rely on Travis. And they do need to figure out a way. I don't know. I think, are they going to pay him the rest of his contract straight up just because they feel bad for ripping him off for 15 years? Or what do you think they'll do there? Or do you think they could free up some money through him somehow? Honestly, I don't even know if they would have been able to keep Justin Reed or if they wanted to. They've been kind of investing in that position with Jaden Hicks and those guys, Shamari Connor. They've been going after safeties for a while, even Brian Cooks. I don't know, man. I think with Kelce, it's almost just like one of those things. If he's going to play one more year and then retire, you got to leave him a Chief. But you don't have to do it at that expense. So I'm kind of with you, but I also think you can't just kick him to the curb.
Yeah, I don't know if Travis Kelce. You think they'll mess with his contract? Anything like he's getting paid a little chunk this year. Like I said though, he's kind
His
of been
cap hit's around
underpaid.
$17 million, I think.
Yeah, he's kind of been underpaid throughout the majority of his career. They might just leave it alone.
But here's the thing. Yeah, boo-hoo, you were underpaid. You're still ungodly filthy rich. You're making money hand over fist from your podcast, TV shows, movies. You're literally dating the richest woman in the world. Like, I don't think that even has to be considered. I don't. I'm sorry, and I know that's outside of football, but to me, I'm not going to be like, I feel sorry for this guy. Let's pay him because we didn't. I don't think that's a thing. I think you still have to be smart as a football team, as a manager, and be like, look, is Travis Kelce worth this much money this year? And let's be honest, his cap hit for 2025 is $19.8 million. The level of play we got out of Travis Kelce last year was not $19.8 million worth. It's not. So I do think Flapjack has a point here.
Justin Reed also signed a 3-year, $31.5 million deal. Honestly, that was about the same he signed in Kansas City, wasn't it?
It's not bad. No, but Flapjack has a huge point here. The only difference is Flapjack's more cutthroat, right? Like, to me, it's like, I think you have to respect the man. I don't think you can just kick him to the curb. I think you let him retire here and do his thing. I mean, he's a freaking Chiefs legend, right? So I think you have to take care of him to an extent, but you don't have to pay him $20 million. You don't have to do that. So I think that's something they need to be looking at for real.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that I think blows my mind is how over the past just the past few weeks, it's almost since the season's ended. Have you noticed the sentiment between Chiefs Kingdom has been all love for Kareem Hunt to now he's just old, washed, and nobody should ever look at Kareem Hunt as an option ever again?
Absolutely. I do
What
want to talk
happened
about
there?
that. I do want to talk about that. Real quick, though, y'all put some freaking legendaries in the chat for Flapjack with the hundo. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, dude. The Kareem Hunt thing blows my mind. Like, first of all, now the sentiment is, that makes absolutely no sense to sign Kareem Hunt. What's the point? What's he have to offer? Like, are you an idiot? Did you
we not
watch last season?
No, apparently now the talking point is he only averaged 3.7 yards a carry. He was very ineffective last year. Where did that come from? He carried our offense for 5 or 6 weeks straight.
Bro.
The dude, if Kareem Hunt would have played all season last year, he was a 1,000+ yard rusher and a double-digit touchdown scorer.
Mike,
he showed flashes of pop.
They're dorks. He
showed that within our offense and in Andy Reid's offense that dude was still effective. He looked better in our offense at his age than Pacheco's ever looked the entire time he's been here. And that's not a slight to Pacheco. I'm just saying, where did that energy go that Kareem Hunt, the savior, came back and he was awesome, and now all of a sudden he's old, washed, and we should have nothing to do with him. When my point is, if you bring him back on a 1 year, and if we'd have used this old, washed running back in the Super Bowl, we probably wouldn't have got our asses handed to us.
Could have won that game.
So look, I don't know where the line shifts or who the person is that has so much influence over the way these people think. But you got to find new people. To be that out on Kareem Hunt is wild to me.
Well, I mean,
especially getting him on a 1 year deal, letting him come in, have an off season, compete for a job. You're not giving him anything. You sign a 1 year deal, you can easily get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be stupid.
You can still draft one. It's fine.
Thank God these nerds aren't the management for the Chiefs.
Believe me, Steve, look at our running back room as it sits today. Who is it? Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, Carson Steele. Who else?
That's it. I mean, you're
going
to have to go
because
to
we don't have Kareem Hunt. We don't have P. Ryan
Amani Bailey
anymore.
still on the practice squad?
So out of the 3 guys we have, Carson Steele, we see how that panned out. Still got big high hopes for him, but he was a little fumble prone. They didn't use him as much. They kind of jumped the gun. He kind of looked like a UDFA rather than Superman that everybody thought. The same way LRZ didn't make the team last year. Surprise, surprise. After all that hoopla.
Man, I'm really not looking forward to some kind of weird stuff like that this offseason.
Out of Mitchell and Pacheco, Mitchell just missed he's missed an entire season of injury. Pacheco is injury prone. Like, we've got nothing but injury-prone running backs in the back room right now.
You invest in that position. You absolutely go out and
you can
draft
totally
them.
go draft one. You can draft a Quinshawn Judkins or somebody like that. But you still don't know if you can rely on a rookie to be the bell cow.
Mike, you get Kareem Hunt for cheap. You get him for a year. You get the production of Kareem Hunt, which whether everybody wants to cry about it or whatever, like you said, he carried the offense for a big portion of last year. And then their argument is, well, he's too old and he fell off at the end of the season because he was tired. Like, nah, maybe it's because Andy Reid wouldn't run the damn ball.
That's what it was. It had nothing to do with Kareem Hunt.
Right.
He's not even 30 years old yet.
Yeah, you re-sign Kareem Hunt and you don't even think twice about it.
And the thing about Kareem Hunt, too.
That's crazy.
He's never, like, after his first few years with Kansas City, his entire time in Cleveland, he was never a guy that got 175 or 200 carries per year. He was always like a split back guy. Yeah. So he doesn't have that many carries on him, to be honest, sitting at 29 years old.
No, you make that deal.
He could have way more.
I have faith that they'll do that. They need to do that. Just to think that that's absolutely absurd.
To sign back a 29-year-old running back for a 1-year deal is just unheard of.
That's a
I don't know what happened. Especially when you could actually use Kareem Hunt in the way they use Samaje Perine. He could be a pass-catching running back. We've seen it for many, many years. I don't understand. I don't get where the sentiment lies and how Chiefs Kingdom's so wishy-washy from day to day. I don't know who they listen to, but it is wild.
That said this, Mike. I mean, sorry. It just is. Pretty crazy. Kyle Juszczyk is what Jacob says with the 2-bomb. Is he available now? They cut him? I know they
cut him days ago.
So they cut him. Do you think you bring the fullback in?
He's 30-plus years old. I think Juszczyk's 33 going on 34.
Hey.
And again, I'm not opposed to it.
Bring the fullback back.
I'm just saying, I like how everybody was on board with Juszczyk instantly. But Kareem Hunt's washed at 29. What?
Yeah. Do you like the idea? Do you like the idea?
Jacob, I actually like the idea of it. But again, that kind of, I mean, he's better than Carson Steele, but that does eliminate Carson Steele now to be able to be on the roster for most weeks, and he probably goes down into practice squad and to oblivion.
Maybe. Appreciate the 2-bomb, Jacob. We got Peter Ortiz in the house, the legend himself with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go, Peter. Let's go, baby. If you got one of those memberships, thank him in the chat. Be gracious. We'll be doing a lot more members-only stuff coming up real soon. We've been cooking it up. So you want to be a member. If you don't get one of those free memberships, you can go join yourself. Join.allchiefedup.com. It's just $4.99 a month, ladies and gentlemen. That's an easy way to support the channel. Go do it.
It's going to be very valuable here soon because we've been talking about turning in these morning lives into members-only morning lives. So if you're enjoying it, members only might be the way to go, especially in the
morning
off-season.
Streams. If you like the morning streams. Javier with the 5-bomb says Kingsley at left guard. What do you guys think? I think that's a huge possibility. It's a huge possibility. I think you're that's the thing. And here's something else that people need to accept. If your left guard is Mike Caliendo at the beginning of the season, don't pass out, because they've shown us over and over again they'll put him there. They like him.
He's very much in the mix.
But yeah, it could be Kingsley. It could be Wanye. I think Wanye could play the guard position. They drafted Norzad and some guys. There's a lot of guys in the mix. A lot of guys in the mix.
They could draft somebody else. I don't know if they'll draft a guard this year, but it's possible. I mean, they may pick one up after the season in UDFA at some regard anyway.
Yeah. So not opposed to that, Javier. We'll see. We'll see who wins the spot. I think that's the thing about it. You have all these guys that could do it. Let them get out there and earn it. Don't just plug it. Don't just give it to one guy and be like, "Here, this is yours." Let them earn it, man.
Could you imagine if Kingsley played left tackle year 1 for a few weeks? In year 2, he now has to be a left guard.
Yep.
And then everybody wants to cut Jawaan Taylor and throw him at right tackle. So in 3 years, he plays all three positions. He has to learn. He's never.
That's crazy.
We're going to delay this guy's development until he's 40. It's going to be no point in drafting him because he was young.
Flip with the 2 bombs says Kelce will keep his check. CJ needs restructuring. CJ did restructure, and so did Patrick Mahomes. That's how they freed up all this money, brother. So I think Kelce, $20 million for Kelce. We got to fix it somehow, some way. There's got to be a way to fix that.
What is his actual number? Is it 19?
$19.8 million cap hit, which is wild for what he was able to do last year. So I think that's something they'll definitely look at. If there's a way for them to fix it, I think Brett Veach will do it. If there's a way to save money there and Kelce's still happy, I think they do it. So I think they're probably kicking the tires on that, seeing what they can do.
Yeah.
Jacob with a 5 bomb says, would you try Dobbins or Chubb? If not able to get Kupp, I like Elijah Moore at wide receiver. And is Von Miller an option for defense? So let's break it down real quick. Dobbins or Chubb? They did like Dobbins. They thought about maybe making a deal for him last year. They even brought him in for a visit. But I think Dobbins, massively injury prone. Everybody knows that. And like Mike was saying, we already have an injury prone running back room. I think you could get Kareem Hunt for the 1-year deal. I don't know if Dobbins really moves the needle enough to take that risk. I'm not for sure. Nick Chubb, same thing. But Nick Chubb's upside is way more than Dobbins and other guys, I think. Nick Chubb's an absolute beast. But then again, he's never on the football field. Wouldn't be mad at either of those if they got him for the right price, but it's kind of risky. And then obviously Cooper Kupp, he kind of falls into that category of, gets injured quite a bit. But I think you got to weigh your options there and see what you like to gamble on. And then Elijah Moore at wide receiver, that's something that the Chiefs had kicked the tires on a year or two ago as well. He kind of fits in too, and he's one of those guys that's never really reached his potential. And Brett Veach sure loves signing those kinds of guys, so that one wouldn't be a shocker either. Von Miller on defense. So Von Miller is a dinosaur. He's like 34, 35 years old.
He's going on. No, he'll be 36.
36. Dang. Sold him short. The old man's 36. He still offers you a little bit on situational pass rush. If you could bring him in and plug him on the edge and just have him get after the quarterback situationally, I think he offers you something. But it's going to be limited. It's not going to be much. It would have to be dirt cheap. And the only reason I even slightly like the idea of bringing in Von Miller is because Von Miller is a massive, massive Derek Thomas fan. He's talked about his entire career. That's who he modeled his game after. That's who he had the most respect for. It was his favorite player. It's even why he wore the number 58. So if he wants to come in and be a Chief at the end of his career, wouldn't be mad at it if it was cheap, if it was real cheap. Also, that's another thing. Even as a situational pass rusher, Von Miller doesn't really fit the mold of a defensive end we would use. He's more the smaller outside linebacker type, like a Joshua Uche or something like that. So I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible, but I wouldn't be mad if it was super cheap. But there's been a lot of years in the last 6 or 7 where we've signed older guys to help with the pass rush. I mean, Terrell Suggs, we used him in the Super Bowl run. Carlos Dunlap. We do those types of things, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. What do you think, Mike?
No, it's not. Did J.K. Dobbins actually? He's already been signed though, hasn't he?
Hell, I don't know. Did he?
I'm not for sure. I was thinking he got signed, but maybe not.
I can find out real quick. How about it?
No, I guess not. No, he's still available. J.K. Dobbins, for some reason, I thought he got re-signed, but he didn't. Maybe it was just something they were talking about. So Dobbins and Chubb. Miles Sanders got cut the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll take a shot on any of them. I still don't understand why Kareem Hunt's just completely out. To me, that's weird. Like, they're calling Elijah Moore a Kareem Hunt replacement.
Yeah, that's strange.
They don't even run the same.
They don't even correlate now. Elijah Moore's fast, quick, a lot of bursts.
Elijah Moore could be a McKinnon replacement.
He's just a one-cut guy like that's going to get positive yardage. Kareem Hunt's that back that can be patient, see the field really well, and really do some work. So I think they're a lot different Kareem's not the super fast type back and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't think that's the same thing. That's kind of odd. There's a lot of big names still that are free agents. It's kind of wild. Mike, do you think they go sniff around at an old safety to help? Like you lost Justin Reed. You don't have that experience back there anymore. You still got a very young group back there. Do you think they could sniff around at Justin Simmons or somebody like that? I mean, he's probably looking at about $7.5 million, something like that. That's not terrible.
It's too rich.
It is rich, but it's not the worst thing in the world, and it gets you a guy with playmaking ability and some experience and stuff like that. Do you think they go that route? Did they go with the experienced wide receiver to get one in the wide receiver room? We have a lot of young players on this team. So do they sprinkle in some veterans here and there, or no? Do you think they just kind of stick with what they're doing?
I mean, at this point, I don't really know, because I was talking yesterday, and I wanted to put Christian Fulton on a list of things I wanted. And before I hit send, I took him off the list. I was like, I don't know if Brett Veach is going to pay anybody. Because, I mean, to what they had to pay him was, what, $20 million?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if he'll invest $20 million in a corner. And so I took him off the list, tweeted it out. Wasn't an hour later, they signed Christian Fulton. I kicked myself right in the crotch, okay? The point is he did prove me wrong right there. He proved me wrong. He went against the grain a little bit, and he actually paid money to a corner. And, you know, it's not about, oh, dang, I could have called that. No, it was a surprise that Brett Veach invested some money into a corner that was not McDuffie at the moment. Because I felt dumb being like, hey, we should restructure McDuffie and we should pay Christian Fulton. So I was like, that seems a little wild for Brett Veach. And he showed he was willing to do it. So I don't know where he's going to go here. He's been pretty active. He signed James Winchester back. He's got a few things. So I would like
Mike,
to see.
why didn't we go live when they signed back James Winchester? Why didn't we go live late at night, you know, to expose the news of James Winchester? I'm sure
I don't know, because he deserves the respect. He deserves the respect.
Mike,
and
you know who else deserves respect? Flapjack deserves some damn respect with another 10 bomb. Let's go, baby. He says Travis's mentality at catching balls at this point is stop, drop, and roll. Dude's all brakes, no gas. Bro still at the 50 waiting on the ball to be snapped. Maybe I woke up wrong seeing Reed go. Yeah. I don't know, man. Would you feel better if they went and got Justin Simmons or somebody to fill that veteran role in the safety room, Flapjack? Or is it just, did you love Justin Reed that much? We like Justin Reed a lot. I think that's a loss for us. It is. Like, I think that's definitely going to be missed. So Justin Reed was a beast down the stretch last year. Poor old Travis is getting shots fired at Travis, you know? Collateral damage.
I thought Joey Bosa, this is off subject, but I thought Joey Bosa was going to sign with his brother.
No, he signed with Buffalo.
And then he ended up signing with Buffalo. But he only got a 1 year, $12.6 million deal, right?
Yeah.
What does Charles Omenihu think he's going to get?
Right, because Bosa, I mean, let's be honest.
Bosa's going to make more money than Charles Omenihu.
Omenihu's younger. But Bosa's injury prone, but I still don't. Yeah, no.
You think he's going to go for 12.6 and Omenihu's getting 17?
If we pay him that, I'd be pissed.
If
somebody else does, whatever, go on.
I think that Omenihu's now settled himself into like 10 or 11 million max. Like if somebody offered him 10 million, he needs to be running to the bank.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, bro. You know he thinks he's worth much, much more than that.
He thinks he's better than Joey Bosa.
Do you think he even doubts that a little bit in his own head?
How wild is it, too, that we were literally just talking about how Buffalo doesn't – they can stumble ass backwards into the best deals, the most money. It doesn't matter. They just restructure and give, you know, the quarterback a bunch of money. Now Joey Bosa signs there. It's like – these teams love just building up all these like all-stars to come.
Mike, they got to do something to try to knock off the Chiefs.
Still out here. One of his biggest free agent acquisitions so far has been a backup left tackle, an injury-prone running back, and Christian Fulton, who by all means has probably not lived up to expectations of a second-round pick just yet. And all these other guys, you know, Let's go sign Joey Bosa. Let's do
Well,
everybody
you know
tries
the drill.
so hard in the offense or the off season to try to catch us.
You know the
and
drill.
every single year they fall short. Have they predicted that the Chargers are going to win the AFC West yet?
It's coming. Give it time.
Surely it's happened. Surely.
Hey guys,
We're
real
past
quick.
due.
Appreciate you all being here. Do us a favor, hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, do us a huge favor. Share this channel with a friend. Share this video with a friend. Get some more people out there on the All Chiefed Up train. We would appreciate that a lot. 578 people in here this morning. Appreciate you guys big time. If you're on X or Facebook, make sure to comment if you want to. We like to see your comments as well. Also, share this out with your friends, family, followers, all that good stuff. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break. And when we get back, we got a lot more to get to. We got more chat to get to and all that good stuff. Just hang with us, and we'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Right off the rip. I'm getting that leather and tobacco vibe and that bourbon vanilla. This stuff right here, straight fire, baby. You work hard, you play hard, and we know Chiefs Kingdom cheers hard. And when you do that, it's obvious you work up a little stank. I mean, come on. We're stinky humans who survive on barbecue and Patrick Mahomes highlights. But you don't always want to be at musty level 10. We don't. We're trying to smell nice. And for us, it's this right here, Mando, baby. You wake up, you shower, you start your day, but eventually you start to get a little, ripe. You catch a whiff and you just pray nobody else is offended by your stank bubble. You don't have to walk around smelling like Bigfoot's. Grab yourself some Mando full body deodorant or some Mando whole body deodorant spray. They even have whole body deodorant cream. You have no reason to stink. We absolutely love Mando, and that's why we partnered with them to bring their goodness to you. Look, we're super big into fragrances and colognes, and this stuff smells fantastic. This is bourbon leather, and it smells incredible. There's so many reasons to love it. It's safe to use for your pits, to your balls, to your big old disgusting filthy feet. It was created by an actual doctor who wanted to stop the misdiagnosis and mistreatment of odors. Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And no, that doesn't mean you can be a degenerate piece of and not shower for real. It helps with odor. It doesn't perform miracles. There's 4 scents. This bourbon leather here is fantastic. They also have Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport scent. Some sick individual actually ran a test where they sniffed several people's grundles 12 hours post-shower and documented the stink levels. The average odor was a 5 out of 10 just 12 hours after your shower. With Mando, those same sick perverts that sniffed them taints were now a 0 of 10 level stank. Let's go. So do you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula? Of course you do. You can find them at Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com. You can pick up a Mando starter pack. It's absolutely perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and you get free shipping. Free shipping is huge. I've been known not to order $100 worth of stuff because I didn't want to pay $10 for shipping. But this is what I want to offer to the ACU crew because you guys are special. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack when using our code ACU to shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. And if you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund up to 60 days later. That's how confident Mando is that your balls won't stink. Go to shopmando.com and use code ACU to get 40% and free shipping off your Mando starter pack. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence head to toe with Mando. Thanks for Mando for sponsoring this video. We got some Mando action quite literally for that ass. Get it up in there. Those butt cheeks, baby.
Let's go, baby. Shout out Mando.
Shout out Mando for being a sponsor over the off season, baby. Like
Yeah,
they stepped up.
Support your boys this off
They stepped up. They said, everybody, the sweaty balls and the stank.
They said, we know you stink. We know all your viewers stink.
Yeah, there's no off season for steak balls. That's what they said.
Hey, check them out in the pinned comment. Mike, let's get back at it, baby. There's a lot of football to talk about, some more chat to get to. So let's do it. Let's start it off right here with freaking Peter Ortiz, baby, with a 25. Let's go. He says, keep Hunt. He runs downhill. Never negative yards for Hunt. Hunt's too smart for those negative yards.
Yeah,
He'll find a spot. He'll hit it. I think keeping Hunt's just smart and an easy one. Like, I don't even think that don't overthink it. Don't be a slap nut. Just get Hunt for another year and do it too. Appreciate the 25, Peter. Bryant, been a member for 3 months, says, I cannot find the correct spot to extend my membership. I went to the webpage, went to the links. Can somebody drop a link in here for me? If you guys can help out Bryant, please do so in the chat. That way he can sit around and have me say, hear ye, as much as he wants to as a member. We also have a 2-bomb from Cindy Vine. Look at that clever name. Says, what about Stephon Diggs? Like the idea of Stephon Diggs in the offense. I think he's that type of player. He'd be good. He would fit okay. But what won't fit well is his shitty attitude, his massive fragile ego, and the fact that he won't get a bunch of targets in this offense. I mean, there would be games where he would have 0. There would be games where he'd have 2. I don't think he can handle that. I think he'd be throwing a fit. He'd be a cancer in the locker room, on the sidelines, and I don't know if that's going to fly. Buck and Bob with the 5-bomb says it's not $50 million, but have a cup of coffee on me. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate
you, brother.
We'll do that. I need a cup of coffee, Mike. I'm real tired. I got to get more sleep as an old man. There's just too much going on. No rest for the wicked, baby. Appreciate you. And then Matt with the 5-bomb says, did the $49 million get used to sign the recent free agents we just signed, or is that $49 million to continue signing in free agency? Both, Matt, both. They did have to free up some cap space to sign all those guys, but it's still going to leave a little bit of meat on the bone. They can definitely make a move. It also could be used for Trey Smith's contract, which I think if they go ahead and get him on contract, it actually lowers the cap this year.
Yeah.
Also, they need to extend McDuffie and get that out the way. I think there's some things they could be doing with the money. We'll see what happens, but there are also a lot of guys still out there available that could help this team in the immediate future. So keep your eyes open. Brett Veach could be cooking something up. Also, remember they got to sign all the draft picks they get. So they'll need to leave a little bit of money out there. Casey Lion Squad with a 10-bomb says the new NFL cap starts today, so the cap we're seeing today aren't reflective of that. So hopefully we get Trey done so we can have more cap room to fill some more needed spots. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's ways to keep freeing up space. That way this year, I like the idea of just sprinkling in some veterans with your young guys. We have a very young team. I wouldn't mind seeing, let's trade for Cooper Kupp. I would like to see that guy in the wide receiver room. Mike, we saw what D-Hop was able to do last season as far as mentoring and helping Xavier Worthy. Get another guy that they can pick his brain. Get another guy. Cooper Kupp, he could be productive. If he stays healthy, that's massive for the team. Even if they wanted to go on the defensive side of the ball and look at a Justin Simmons, something like that. You lost Justin Reed. You don't have your experienced guy in the secondary. They did get Fulton in the defensive backs, but I mean, I don't know. I think they could do a couple little things here and there. There's also some pass rush they could look at. A lot of people like Von Miller, Casey Lion Squad, even though he's my age. But just situationally, he could be effective. There's lots of different things they can do, Mike. So I think they continue to free up cap space. And I think Brett Veach is cooking something up. I think he's got some things in mind.
Yeah, same. I think Brett Veach has got something going. I don't know who they're going to target next, though. I really do think that a lot of it could be trying to get just Trey Smith back. So he wants to keep a little bit in the tank there. Signing the draft picks isn't going to be a lot. I think he's going to need somewhere around 7 to 10 million. You always need something about right there. So what was the number earlier that we have? Like somewhere around like 29 or something? For the cap, the new hit?
Yeah, something around that.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of money to work with. Somebody is like literally arguing with me that Jawaan Taylor does not have dead void years on his contract.
I don't know if he does, to be honest.
He does. He does. His last restructure, the Chiefs added void years. And I'm going to show you right now. I'm just going to bring this in so we can end the debate. Unless you want to call Spot Rat completely wrong, they said on October 25th he added 2 void years, clearing $5.3 million of cap space in 2024. He converted $6.625 million into signing bonus. Now he's got 2 void years, is what they're saying. So you can absolutely convert more space this year off that signing bonus. You could actually take his entire $19-20 million he's owed and go all the way down to $1 million base salary as an adult that's been in the league for 6 years. Okay, you could actually give him $19 million or something like that. Like, you could save that if you wanted to. Here's my point. If you're going to cut him next year and you have to keep him this year and you have to pay him his base salary no matter what, and so you're out $25 million no matter what, might as well free it up on the cap. Pay him.
If SpotRack is up to date, they also say that there's $31.7 million in cap space at the moment.
Right. That's about right.
So, yeah, man, there's some things that could be done here. There's some things that could be done. I see in the chat, Don says we need to get rid of Sky Moore. Man, he is not having it. Sky Moore still on this roster is just not going to cut it for Don. Okay, get rid of his ass. But seriously, hawk him off for a 7th rounder. Who knows? Do whatever you got to do. He's not going to make the team. There's no way. I think they're past that. But what if he did? They say he's been working real hard in the offseason. Or the whole season. Even.
What if he did?
Von Miller going to bring his walker with him, says Peter Ortiz. He's going to have a walker on the sideline and an oxygen tank, but he gets his ass out there and he gets a sack on 3rd down.
Yeah, he does.
Let's go, baby. Let's do it. Why not? Jay Cruz says, what? Sky Moore is still on the team? Why? What a waste of a pick. Yeah. No, they passed on DK Metcalf to draft McCole Hardman. Yeah. They passed on George Pickens to draft Sky Moore. So they actually traded back and got Sky
traded
Moore.
Back. They did get a pick out of the deal, though. A lot of people think we give up an extra pick.
Yeah, but that was for
Sky,
Darian Kennard, who they let go to waste.
Yeah. It still wasn't like the best workout, but it is what it is.
Yeah, before we get going today, get in the chat and let us know what you guys want. What do you think they're going to do with this money? Who do you want to see them bring in, if anybody? Let us know what you guys think. Mike, ideally, $31 million in cap. You know you have some things to get done. You also know you have to leave a little meat on the bone for the rookies, the new guys that get drafted in. Mm-hmm. Stay compliant and all that good stuff. What's your idea, like ideal situation, I should say? What do you think they should do with this? With this newfound money?
Yeah, man. They do have some money here to blow, I guess. To me, I would almost just want to sit on some of it just for the picks and then try to get Trey Smith done. So, I mean, I'm not going to be like overly crazy and just try to go out and just blow it. But I think I would look a little bit to the defensive line. But I feel like the writing's on the wall that they're just going to wait and draft a lot of defensive line because you lost Turk. Maybe they use some of this money to go ahead and get a McDuffie deal ddone. There's several ways they could go with it, but I think defensive line is still a need.
Message on your phone from Tyja Horn.
your glasses. But yeah, I think defensive line is probably the biggest weakness right now that I would see. And is there anybody out there? I don't know. I've looked through it, and I'm not completely sold that there's anybody worth a crap on the defensive line, but surely they're not going to free it up and give it to Charles Omenihu, right? That feels wild.
Good Lord, bro.
That feels wild.
That would be insane. That would be insane. Let's not go that route.
Yeah, I'm looking at the free agency list right now for defense, and it's not a lot. You could maybe a Jerry Tillery, if you remember him out of Notre Dame, played with the Chargers, played with the Vikings. He's serviceable. He's only 28 years old. They say he's going to get around $2 to $3 million. Pretty big boy there. Could be somebody they look at for a small 1-year deal or something. There's just not anybody down through here. It's a bad one. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go to the draft specifically for this.
Man, I tell you what, there's a lot of bigger names out there. Some names I've seen thrown around, Mike, and let's play this game where I just say the name and you instantly, without thinking about it, you give me a yes or a no, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just going to go with the popular ones that people have been saying, so you might hear some repeats. Stephon Diggs.
Yes or no? I wouldn't be super opposed to Stephon Diggs, but I don't know if they would do it.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Nah, I don't think that's a thing.
Von Miller.
No, I wouldn't do Von Miller.
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett. Honestly, I wouldn't. Would I be surprised? Probably not. But I wouldn't personally.
Evan Ingram.
No, I don't think I would do Evan Ingram either, to be honest.
Matt Judon.
No.
Zadarius Smith.
No.
So I know we just signed a corner, but I've also seen people asking for Jeff Okudah and Kendall Fuller.
No. Jeff Okudah was one I was interested in last year. But I think no at this point.
Justin Simmons.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Man, Mike says no. I'm with you, though. I'm with you. I don't think
I'm just not really seeing a lot out there that I see that Brett Veach is going to give anything to beyond like just 1 year deals at this point.
Do you bring Juszczyk in on a 1 year and use a fullback? Have a little bit of sausage action.
I mean, that's possible too, but I don't know.
Raheem Mostert. He's 33.
I'm not
Keep that
messing
in
with
mind.
running backs anymore at this point unless it's Kareem Hunt. So
Give me Kareem Hunt. Let's draft some. How about that?
yeah.
KJ Osborne.
I like KJ Osborne. That would be one I'd consider actually for a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of names getting thrown around. Trade-wise, it's Cooper Kupp. I know a lot of people will like Trey Hendrickson. I do too, but that's not going to happen. The Bengals wouldn't trade him to us in a million years, and he's going to be expensive as hell regardless. So, man, I don't know. It's a good one, though. It's a good day to be a Chiefs fan, guys. There's a lot of free money, a lot of stuff coming up. But today's the first day of the new season. Officially, you could sign your free agents today. It's not just tampering no more. Mm-hmm. It's funny how free agency's already, like, most of it's already in the bag before it even starts, you know? Kurt Bosa went to Buffalo Bills, and Trey Hendrickson would necessitate a trade, and that's not happening. Is that the right word? Trade would be necessary for Trey Hendrickson, and that's not going to happen. The Bengals were never going to deal him to the Chiefs, and then we couldn't afford his ass anyway. It'd be nice, though. Boy, wouldn't it be nice. Cooper Kupp is 31, and trade, no thank you. They need to get younger. That's always the sentiment with Chiefs Kingdom is we don't have the money or we don't need to trade. That's not necessary. They're old. Mm-hmm. We got to get younger. We are younger. We have the youngest roster in the entire NFL. So to sprinkle in a 31-year-old Cooper Kupp with a wide receiver room that consists of Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice, that's not crazy to me. Like, put some experience in there. He's not going to cost a lot. It'd be like a 7th-round draft pick if you wanted to trade for him. They're talking about cutting him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. D-Hop 2.0, he's not even nearly the same person as D-Hop. You can't even compare them two as a receiver. And let's be honest, D-Hop was not incapable of doing things here. It's just they didn't use him. I mean, literally 1,000-yard season a year ago with the ass Titans, and you're telling me he couldn't have done that here? We just didn't even throw him the ball. I think it's a whole different thing. But I mean, you're not investing a lot in these guys. That's the thing about it. I think if you can get some of the experience into the roster for cheap, I mean, you're not really investing a lot in them, and I think it helps. It helps.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't know. Do you think that we're going to do anything else today? Do you think there's anything else on the books for today?
Quite possibly. I mean, it's the first day of free agency.
I just don't. I'm not seeing nobody like specifically. So I think maybe Brett Veach goes back to a little bit in-house stuff. I still want to see Kareem Hunt. Like, I still want to see that today. Now, look, here's the thing about Kareem Hunt. I don't know if he's going to garner a lot of looks outside of people that are interested in that kind of back. and because of his, I mean, I get it. He's only 29 or 30. I don't think he's super old, but because of his age, he may be one of those last few names that sign in free agency. So there's really no reason to like jump the gun on him. You know what I mean? So they could wait there, even if they're going to sign him. They could almost wait all the way up to the draft. Maybe even after the draft, he could still be available.
Yeah, that could definitely happen way later.
So, I mean, there might be something there. I just don't.
Yep.
Honestly, I just would want him on the team.
Yeah,
I think he offers enough.
Steve's still talking about Cooper Kupp. He says if they cut him and he wants to chase a ring on a 1-year deal, then I'm open to it. That's the thing. That's the exact idea that I have, except for the fact if you let him get cut and then it's on the open market, you're going to have to pay him more. If you trade a 7th-round pick, and we already have like 3 of those, if you just trade one,
or give one next year, that's been getting
or whatever,
other wide receivers.
Then you get him. You don't have to compete with anybody else, and you can sign him to a 1-year deal for whatever the hell you want. I think that's the route to go. That's the only reason I said that. No offense to Kurt, but Kurt, buddy, have you been living under a rock, brother? Myles Garrett signed the most massive contract in football history. So
yeah, it's huge.
he ain't going nowhere. Sam Lofton with the 5 bomb says, according to OTC and Spot Rack, the cap space created today doesn't include Nick Bolton, Mitchell Fulton contracts yet. Is that right? Potentially, because they were already in the hole as far as cap space goes. They freed up $49 million. Spot Rack saying about $31 to $32 million is left. That very well could be it. I mean, there's probably not as much as people are thinking as far as there being a lot of cap space. It's probably not what you think. You think they free up $49 million. Oh, we got all kinds of money to play with, but no, there's lots of things they got to get taken care of. So you're right, Sam.
Yeah, they don't have.
It's not going to be like a massive amount.
Yeah, they don't have. They've got Jalen Moore on here. They've got those contracts, but they do not have. They do not have Nick Bolton's updated contract. So yeah, there's still a few people that they've got to update here. So.
Yep.
We also had to pay for trading Joe Thuney. We had to pay $11 million in dead money cap hit this year.
Joe Thuney.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
So we took an $11 million cap hit to also trade Joe Thuney out.
Well, I mean, his cap hit was probably what, $16-17 million?
Yeah,
So
they
he
actually
still
probably
saved money on
saved
the
just
cap,
a few dollars there. So
Yeah.
it's
I don't know.
wild.
It'll be interesting. I mean, they can't make any massive deals. I think, like, we've pretty much covered the bases, right? I think they look at extending Trent McDuffie. They got to get a deal done with Trey Smith if that's what they're wanting to do. Wouldn't it really shock everybody just crazy if they just come out and traded Trey Smith after they tagged him? That'd be nuts. I don't think that's going to happen, but if they did, people would lose their minds.
Yeah, me either. Also, Over the Cap does not have Nick Bolton's updated contract either, and Over the Cap says that we have 29.5 million cap space. So yeah, it's not as high as it looks. So you're going to have Nick Bolton's first year on it. You're going to have, who's the other one? I don't think it's got Christian Fulton's updated either.
Yep. Buck and Bob pointing this out, which is even more ridiculous. He didn't have a $17 million cap hit. They saved $17 million. He had a $27 million cap
Yeah, that
hit.
makes sense.
Joe Thuney, by the way. That's who they're talking about.
Joseph Thuney.
Yeah, man. Interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Brett Veach is making the move. He's doing the things that's necessary. He's got to do. We knew he had to do it. It's going to be a tough offseason for Brett Veach, honestly. We've already seen lots of players that we weren't able to re-sign that we would like to have seen back here. Gone. Justin Reed, gone. Turk Wharton, gone. These guys are getting paid elsewhere. But I mean, stuff's necessary to keep competing at a high level every year. You gotta make some sacrifices here and there. Gotta get those young guys in. Draft's gonna be very important for us this year, as usual. Per usual. Gonna be an important draft. Mike, they had the official list of all the draft picks we have, right?
Yeah, they released that yesterday.
Read that off to the ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what picks do the Chiefs officially have in the 2025 NFL draft.
Well, I got to find it first, so give me a second.
We'll give you 10 seconds.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll give you 10 whole seconds. Let's go, Aaron. Let's go. What's going on?
Okay, here you go. number 31, round 1, number 63, round 2, number 66, round 3, number 95, round 3.
4 top 100 picks, by the way, is huge.
Yeah, 4. Number 133, round 4, a number 226, a number 251, and number 257 in round 7. And we also get Mr. Irrelevant this year. We get the final pick in the draft.
Now, Mike, would it hurt the Chiefs at all to hawk off pick 226 or 251 for Cooper Kupp and then pay him for a year? But that wouldn't be very detrimental.
It looks like to me that Brett Veach, if he wants some wiggle room, because we know how he likes to move up and down boards, one of those third-round picks could possibly be used to go way up in the second, if that's a choice. He could also come out of the first, fall back into the second to maybe like pick 36 to 40 range, and then pick up an extra 4th or 5th. He could possibly do something like that to get back a 5th-round pick. He can maybe fall back and take like a 4th and a 5th, or a 5th and a 6th, or another 2nd and a 5th, or I don't know. There's something he could do. There's so many things he could do.
Mike, is this like counting the compensatory picks?
Yeah, this is everything. This is the final. Our compensatory picks were our 7th. We had 2 in the 7th.
That's what I thought.
So he doesn't have tons and tons to work with, as in moving up boards. So, I mean, what? Yeah, if you could get a Cooper Kupp for a 1-year deal and get a trade for like a 251 or 226, I mean, I don't really think I would be opposed to it. The odds of you drafting somebody at 226 or 251 that's going to contribute more than a Cooper Kupp in a season, is very minimal.
I think so too, dude.
But, I mean, again, he likes to have these to move around boards. The problem is round 7 picks are not used in the first 3 rounds very often. Like, those are only going to get used if he wants to move up. See, we don't even have a 5th or a 6th round. So to move up in round 4, you would have to give up almost every round 7 pick just to move up a few spots in round 4. Yeah. So the way it's positioned without a 5th and a 6th, once it gets past round 4, he's in trouble. He can use his round 3s to come up in round 2, maybe even round 1 if you do it right. So after the first few rounds, he's stuck a lot, I think, unless they want to do something different with like next year's picks.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Mike, we had a comment that says, I hear Micah Parsons wants a trade from Tony. He says, what do you think about getting him? I don't want to hurt your feelings or burst your bubble or anything like that, but I think it's a pipe dream. Micah has said that he would go to the Chiefs in a heartbeat on his podcast, but think about it is we don't use that type of guy. Obviously, I think he kind of transcends that sort of thing, but we don't use that type of edge rusher. He falls into that 3-4 guys, outside linebacker, smaller. We don't really use that. And talk about expensive. He's going to garner a lot. John Johnson talks about Hendrickson. This is a little bit different, but kind of the same. There's just no way, John. I don't think the Bengals would ever in a million years deal him to the Chiefs. And if they did, we'd have to pay him a boatload of money. The guy's earned it. 36 sacks in the last 2 seasons. So, yes, would love that. Would love to see him in a Chiefs uniform, but I just don't know if that's even possible. I don't think it is. I don't think the Bengals would deal him to us. We got a 10 bomb. KC Lions squad says Kupp's usage in our offense would be different. He wouldn't be the main guy. I believe our strength and conditioning, as well as medical staff, have proven that they're top notch and can benefit Kupp. I agree with that. I think so too. And that's the thing. You hear names like DeAndre Hopkins or Cooper Kupp, and maybe even if you want to throw Stephon Diggs into that category and some of these other guys, your brain is trained to think that they're like a number 1 guy because that's what they've been in the league for years now. But they're not that anymore. And that's not what you're trying to get when you get these guys. That's not what the Chiefs were trying to do with DeAndre Hopkins. That's not what they would be trying to do if they got Cooper Kupp. You're not trying to get a number 1 guy that's going to get a bunch of targets, but you're getting a seasoned player who's smart and knows what the hell they're doing. You get to use them the way that you need him to be used. It's also always a guy that other teams have to game plan for because, yes, you're not planning to use him that way, but if they leave him unaccounted for, he can be damaging. You could blow a team out with a guy like a Cooper Kupp or a DeAndre Hopkins or somebody like that if they're not paying attention. Mm-hmm. It's not that. It's not that you're trying to get like a number one guy and have this big. They're not what they were, right? They're not what they were. They're now guys that can contribute in smaller portions. They're guys that can contribute in different ways. They're guys that can help in the locker room with young guys. They could be mentors. They've got a lot of knowledge up there in those domes. So take advantage of it, man. It's a little bit. It's different than it used to be, and I think it could be beneficial to get guys like that in the locker room. I think we saw that with D-Hop. I think if nothing else from D-Hop, I think everyone has to admit that D-Hop coming to the Chiefs benefited Xavier Worthy tremendously. We saw an uptick in his game almost instantly. He talked publicly about how he had been picking DeAndre's brain and he'd been helping him and really learning a lot from him. So, and I think we saw that. I mean, Xavier Worthy really leaped up quite a bit from early in the season, obviously coming in as a rookie, to what he was able to do at the end of the year. I mean, he took massive strides as a rookie.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was valuable to Xavier Worthy. So I mean, there's something to be said about older veteran guys. I mean, they're not just to be kicked to the curb, which is what a lot of Chiefs Kingdom likes to do. We've just been conditioned to do that because that's what Brett Veach does. But
Right.
I mean, there's still some value there.
That, and you hear a big name like that, and you're also conditioned to say, well, we don't have enough money for that, you know. But I mean, they're not what they used to be. They're not going to cost what they used to cost. They're not going to be used the way they used to be used. So I mean, it's a whole different kind of lens you got to look at it through. Otto says this season is toast. Shop never got a chance to shine because no one protected 15 to be able to throw. This is the beginning of the end. Damn, Otto.
That's morbid.
Yeah, bro.
And now I think the Chiefs are fine. I think it's the overreaction to say that we're just not going to be in the mix. But I do think the AFC West is getting stronger. It gets stronger by the year.
They always do.
Pete Carroll, all them, they're going to make the Raiders serviceable.
They went and got Geno so they can try to compete now.
Harbaugh has got the Chargers looking better. Denver's looking better. So, I mean, there's no easy wins now in the AFC West. So,
no.
Andy's motto is now we got to win the AFC West.
It always is anyway.
It always is, but now it means a lot because it's not as easy to do it. And, of course, they're gunning for us. We've done it so many years in a row. So I think we can put to bed the things that we think the Chiefs aren't going to open up their playbook to the playoffs, okay? Because we have to pull it out to win some games this year. So,
but Otto, yeah, chill, brother. Take a chill pill. Relax. The Chiefs are fine. They're going to be good. It's not the beginning of the end. This dynasty is well underway. It's still going. It's not going nowhere. It's not happening. Don't worry about it. Yep. Tony says Geno Smith is nothing but a really good number 2. You say that, but he also puts up over 4,000 passing yards a year. I think he's just a low-key guy to keep a team steady. And I think that if you want to compete now, I think it was a smart move for the Raiders, and I think they still go draft quarterback as well if they can and put him in behind them. So, yeah. Dylan says he wants to see the offense score 35 points a game again, like the old days. You and me both, my man.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It's been a struggle last few years watching this offense be stagnant and just boring and dry and repetitive and all those things that are not fun to watch. It's been a grind, but I'm with you, Mike. Like you said a few live streams ago, like they need to shake things up. And if you got to bring a different kind of player in here to do that, then do it, because there needs to be something change in the offense or else we're going to see more of the same. So I wouldn't mind seeing the Chiefs draft kind of outside of the box. I mean, a lot of people have, their sights set on you have to draft tackle. Well, they got Jalen Moore now. I don't know if there's not a tackle in the draft that's going to come in and play left tackle. So I don't think that's a thing. I think the draft, Brett Veach is doing what he always does. He's tightening up some loose ends and making it to where when he goes into the draft, he can just take best player available. So what if they were to come outside of this draft with a explosive running back? Like a nice new shiny piece, just something different. Or what if, Luther Burden or Emeka Egbuka or somebody like that drops into the first round and they're like, hey, let's get him. You know, like that's what Brett Veach likes to be able to do. So,
Well, Brett Veach doesn't want to go into the draft with weaknesses. Like obvious glaring weaknesses.
well,
And I think that's what
because
you've
if you
seen.
go into the draft knowing you have to draft a certain position, you're going to fail. If you go into the draft knowing that you can draft the best player available when you're on the board, when you're up, when you're on the clock, it makes it a lot easier now, doesn't it? It makes it a lot easier to hit on picks. It makes it a lot easier. So I think that's exactly what they want to be able to do, and I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think they have the mindset that we have to go in and draft a left tackle. They don't have that. They don't think we have to go in and draft anything. Let's go get the best players we can get and continue to improve this team. So I think that's what they're going to do. That's where they're going to be at. Appreciate you guys being here today. You guys are freaking awesome. Got on a little earlier than usual. Mike mentioned it earlier, but yes, Chocolate Shake. Joey Fatone is here. He's right there, baby. And he's right here. Mike actually told me not to use what I had a picture, and Mike said, I look too much like Joey Fatone in that picture. Can you can you tone that down a bit? No, but these daytime live streams in the off season, our schedule is going to get flipped a little bit. We're going to have a little bit different schedule. We'll put it out to you guys, let you know. That way you know what to expect. We're going to have more consistency coming up as far as when videos drop, when we're live, shorts, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. But these daytime live streams very well could turn into members onlys, whatever. So become a member, join.allchiefedup.com if you enjoy the daytime live streams. We're also going to be trying to get live at night some more, and we're going to try to drop a lot more videos. So be on the lookout for that. We'll keep you posted. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Also share this channel, this video, this live stream, whatever the heck you want to share. Share it with a friend, and let's build this channel up and keep on trucking, baby. Shout out Mando for hooking your boys up with a sponsor for the off season. You can visit them at the pinned comment in the chat. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. And we'll be back. If there's more news today, Mike's going to be ready to go, baby. So be on the lookout for Mike. I'm going to be at work, not having a real good time. So if something happens, Mike will keep you posted. So hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And let's go Chiefs, baby. Get
Chiefs.
pumped.
There goes a sight from my soul.